didn't see anything that was very offensive to me in the papers over the weekend. So.
Is that how you judge a good weekend?
Yes, but those of you on the blogs, I did see a little crap there. So.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
All right, we're going to start today with Senator Christensen, who had the probably highest profile bill that we dealt with today, the wolf management bill. Anything else you'd like to say, or should we jump right into questions?
Only that it is a wolf management bill. I'm not in favor of killing all the wolves in Utah or potentially in Utah. There are some who are, and there are those who are pushing for a much, much stronger bill. I just see that explosion of reproduction there, and they actually become unmanageable. The only way we got rid of them 100 years ago was extensive poisoning and a lot of government hunters, and you can't use the poisoning anymore. So it's a huge issue, and it's very emotional one. Believe me, you should read my emails.
Okay.
How do you think it'll fare in the House?
I've got people lining up, arguing over who gets to carry it. So I think it will do as well in the House as it did in the Senate.
Is this dual message that often gets talked about, one wolf management within Fish and Wildlife message? Is that you support both of those? Are those the two that you think will carry this?
My druther would be that the Fish and Wildlife, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, actually steps up to bat and participates with us, stops ignoring us. Do they like it or don't they like it, or can we fix it? You can't argue with someone who won't talk to you at all. You can't even discuss it, let alone bargain. So that would be my ideal. Step up, accept our plan, or if they want to reject it, then let's work on a new one. Let's get something put forward here. But the whole plan currently only applies to a small corner of the state. It is the most likely avenue for wolves to enter, except out in the Vernal, Flaming Gorge area. That's another one. But I would hope they will simply listen and at least come to the table.
You said, Senator, there's some push for even a much, much stronger bill. What's being talked about that would be stronger than your bill?
No wolves, period, in the state.
How would you do that?
Killed on sight. Make them just like coyotes are right now. You can hunt coyotes even with a spotlight, which is illegal for most game, but
you don't need a permit. You don't need
no permit. Open season, as many in anywhere you want. As long as it's legal to shoot a firearm or a weapon, discharge a weapon, you can shoot them anywhere in the state, anytime.
So your bill is preventing that from going forward, that extreme from going forward?
The bill that we passed this morning is a Mother May I bill. Please come and take care of these wolves and take them out of the state. They wouldn't answer our letter. Are they going to come and do that? We would hope to push a little bit on it at least.
Could I see somewhere in any provisions what happens if they don't answer? I'm trying to read that. What happens if they don't come get them? Is there a provision for that in the bill?
No.
Okay.
I can't threaten the feds other than how we've done it, as much as I'd like to some days. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is kind of an anomaly because it exists within each state right along the side of our own state management, but they have their own objectives. The Endangered Species Act is a huge part of their goal, and they can try to micromanage our wildlife just like we're trying to, and they can supersede us due to federal powers, and we reject the idea that they should be in here managing our wildlife when it is the property of our state.
Okay.
Teresa says I have to ask you a question if I see here. My question is, have you told the press yet about the 10 senators who resigned? I got their attention.
We were saving that for Wednesday.
Okay.
Are you on that list? You do want to be on that list.
I'll be shot first.
If there's nothing else on wolves, we'll expand to other issues that you might have found as you studied the wonderful list of new legislation introduced.
President Waters, can you speak about the press conference that was held last Friday to suggest there's an agreement on the table not to go forward with any gay rights legislation, either pro or con this session? I know you have some senators in your caucus that had suggested they wanted to run some of these bills. You feel you can keep to that agreement?
You know, I wasn't at the press conference, but I have read the draft of the bill that Representative Johnson was proposing. Senator Jenkins was at the press conference. He might be the appropriate one to talk about what was said there, other than you ask a question about an agreement, and there's no force of law that I read into the bill that was being offered. It was just an understanding stated that all of the parties have agreed to stand down on running any legislation. If we see other legislation coming, then that would mean that we've misread the community out there. My understanding was that cities had agreed to stand down, that legislators had agreed to stand down, both pro and con. I think whether that's true or not will impact what happens with this bill.
Is that something you plan to enforce, though, as Senate President?
I don't know
if
how we
someone
can.
comes forward with a bill? You don't have to let the bill out. You can keep the bill from getting out of rules or committee or on the floor.
Well, that's true, but I would think that the bigger risk would be the subdivisions of the state running ordinances in their cities. I think we can control it from the legislative perspective as far as bills go, but we can't control it as to what cities and counties do on their ordinances. Senator Jenkins, you were there. Anything else?
I was, and that's pretty much the history the president gave right there. Basically, what they did is they talked to the senators and representatives who presently had bills filed. Now, there's bills we don't know about that are out there, and they could yet come forth. And so we think that everything is covered, but you never say never up here. You know how that goes, Lisa.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, that's right. Never say never.
Senator,
I think we're in pretty good shape, but never say never.
The intent, though, is not to let those, any other bills go forward that someone might.
To encourage people not to run those is what the intent is.
And it's majority leader that carries some weight.
Yeah.
Senator Niederhauser and I discussed this a little over the weekend. We've heard a little bit from some of our colleagues about their bills, wondering how that impacted them. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Well, I didn't talk with anybody over the weekend who had bills, and so I don't know what their concerns would be. I know that we probably need to discuss a lot of this a little bit further in a conference session. I suspect that we'll do so.
On Tuesday.
Yes.
Have you heard from people that want to bring this up in caucus, since it didn't go through caucus in the first place?
Yeah, there's a feeling that there ought to be some discussion on that.
Okay, looks like that handles it.
Always a pleasure.
Well, we're just gearing back up after a busy weekend.